Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great most on the rule well. Shalom to the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth, pushing his word to the four corners. Got this article on Reuters touching on, Taiwan basically starting up their war games, which, they've been doing theirs for the last little while in the area. And obviously now it's as far as for the situation in the US is more precarious. So it's because you've just had, Biden step down, you had Trump get shot in the ear. You've basically got it to where it's there's gonna be an upheaval. And more likely than not it's gonna be Trump getting back in. It could be, we can wait and see what even happens, because Kamala's there, and Kamala's had like that certain spirit on her really from the jump. But obviously with what's got down, people are looking like Trump like he's a deity, man. They're looking like he's a god on earth now. The picture of him with his fist up, that's enraptured the minds, especially of those Americans. And that's really all that's got everyone just drawn into the whole presidential race, as they call it. But then it's there's still things going down. It's really got the brains of the people to where it's like everyone's kind of engaging with it, memeing with it, talking about it, discussing it. They got opinions on it. So like going forward, it's off the back of that, there's a lot they can get. Assassination attempt is wild, as far as implications for where we're like, okay, it could be like we might need more access to this, especially with these things. Online legislation may be saying like, okay, you might need to track if you want to use certain websites, if you want to do certain things, you might have to to put your ID forward, or put a phone number or something, so they can kind of like track and trace these things to the people. These kind of things, obviously, as time goes forward, then you'll kind of hem in, and it's already like we had the situation with all those systems being taken down because of like one dodgy update on like on a thingy, on like one system update going through on like these Windows systems. So one program completely wiping out like the capability for whole industries to function. So the way all these things are linked in, then it's like as these shifts occur, one small impact can then have a domino effect, cascade down to where it starts getting fucked. It starts getting hella peak. So I was to say, Taiwan starts annual war games aiming to closely mimic actual combat. So it says Taiwan carried out anti-landing drills on a strategic river on Monday at the start of the annual Hankwang war games, which this year aim to be as close as possible to actual combat with no script, and simulating how to repel a Chinese attack. China, which views democratically governed Taiwan as its territory, has been staging regular exercises around the island for 4 years to pressure Taipei to accept Beijing's claim of sovereignty, despite Taiwan's strong objections. So yeah, they're doing an anti-landing drill. The Chinese have been doing like landing drills for a minute, and it's kind of been with the situation. What slowed it has been essentially that the US, backing them, because you can already see with Ukraine, the situation that can happen where it's like the West will essentially be backing them. And it's like UK and these guys have been dumping billions upon billions of of dollars into these guys. Have been giving them all kinds of military equipment, training, and whatnot, and letting these guys basically keep Russia in check for them. That's really the purpose of it. It's them, helping out the people, blah blah blah, whatever. That's all BS. As far as for them, they're like, well, you guys can, bleed and sacrifice your people and nation to basically aid us, in how we're trying to be that, bulwark against Russia. But as these things are going down, it's it's all tied up with prophecy. As far as you basically got conflicts popping off. You got like the Middle East, Palestine, and the state of Israel. You got Ukraine, Russia, but it's there's more oil and flames to be built up. Because we'll say Taiwan's drills this year have cancelled elements that were mostly for show, like scripted firepower displays, while there'll be intensified nighttime exercises and practicing how to operate with severed command lines. So these men are really looking into to basically make it something like, we're trying to make it actual useful practice. Because why? It's on the cusp, right there over the brink. They can see like, it can pop off, and they know how eager China is, and it's like with what happened with Ukraine. It's like when America shows any form of weakness, then these guys bounce. It's like you saw with the Afghanistan retreat, where they retreated. Then it was like, okay, so then Russia and China knew they could be a bit more aggressive. Because why? Because the US basically put their tail between their legs, and fled the scene and scarpered. So given as such, all these things they're doing, they're like real. Well, it's been plain. Taiwan's peak, man. The reality of it is, it's because of how they kind of stand within the global economy. Their computer chips are a core part of like hella systems, missile guidance systems, rockets, planes, all kinds of technology is basically built off the back of that. Then they can't just lose them. So there's going to be a need to defend it, and these things can result in further increases. But they're aware. They're like, oh, okay, these guys might make a move. But then what does it say? We're trying our best to slow them down as much as possible. Military officer Chang Chi-pin told reporters, referring to a scenario where the enemy was trying to make landfall by sending rubber boats into the Samsui River. The slower they move, the better for us, he added. Earlier on Monday in nearby Taoyuan, outside of Taipei and home to Taiwan's main international airport, reservists gathered to get their orders as they would during a war, and civilian vans were pressed into service to carry supplies. On Thursday, Taoyuan airport will close for an hour in the morning for drills, though a typhoon is expected to be impacting the island that day, meaning exercises could be delayed. So yeah, these men are putting the work to prep for it, because why it's coming. And that's the thing is these things is now at a point where it's like, these things are coming. They're thinking like the whole presidential situation, Trump gets in, even Trump or Kamala, whoever gets in, that could impact their situation over there. That's the thing, is these things are going to impact globally. And then, what you're going to see. Shockwaves basically, going out, ripples in the water coming out from these events. And then it can escalate more very easily. It can escalate. says live fire drills will only take place on Taiwan's outlying island, including Kinmen and Matsu, which sit nestled next to the Chinese coast and were the scene of on and off clashes during the height of the Cold War. The 5-day war games will be happening in conjunction with the Wan'an civil defense drills, where the streets of major cities are evacuated for half an hour during a simulated Chinese missile attack and test warning alarms will sound on mobile phones. So yeah, or even that mobile phone thing, we had that happen over here in the UK, where if you didn't turn the setting off in like your settings, then the government can send out an attack warning thing, which that again shows you how all these systems are linked. Basically, everything's kind of been built off a backbone where it links in with these systems, and then that all being linked together then means that, like, as a corrupt point of crisis occurs, then they can basically take over and do as they desire to a certain extent with your shit. Similar to like was it the Dark Knight, where he uses what's his name? Batman gets like Lucius to set up using different phones as a sonar to kind of then create visuals. It's basically these guys aren't aware, but their phones basically become part of that system to where they can then interact with with that kind of radar system. So all as far as for these conflicts, these things are escalating. It's funny, all this technology is developing to where you're gonna be caught up in a mix. Funny still. So yeah. Would say 1 Thessalonians 5:1, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And yeah, it will come as a thief. And then when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. That's the thing is as far as it was same with Ukraine. Imagine Crimea invasion was what 2014, I believe. The Crimea invasion, where they kind of swept across, that shit got decimated. And then it seemed like Russia backed off, but then you push forward. What was it? 2021? Was it 2022? 2022. The invasion of Ukraine, where that kicked off, and it seemed peaceful, seemed normal, but then it was like, I remember within those few days they were like, oh, there's a risk they just go for it, and then it's like the way they were moving their troops was like, yeah, they're getting ready to set up that shit coming as a shock to most, but hey, it's how things are playing out now. Because there's travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And yeah, you're not really going to be able to get out of the midst of it. So the thing is, it's the mindset most people kind of have is they want, an assurance of safety and peace. But there's, the times coming where that's going to be out the window. As far as just like these Taiwanese, they already know it's done. It's a wrap. That whole era is a wash. It's basically just a thing where it's like you're going to have to be on edge. Like, okay, yeah, they're probably going to invade. At some point, you have to be on edge. And that's how all these things are kind of playing out. All these little global skirmishes, even with the US, with the assassination attempt, it's highlighted the those political divides. And it's funny, if it went off, you would more or less just had that civil war pop off, man. You would have people, strapped up because it's the US. riding around being like, they got Trump. They would have been losing their minds, man. So, and that just came like, you know, blew in from nowhere. So yeah, shit can bob off. I read this, Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Yeah, distress of nations with perplexity, which is what that aporia, which is, lack of resources, distress. These things are all gonna hit, and that's what people are gonna be feeling. That's the thing, is just like with Russia, Ukraine, where you had the grain cut off and the prices jumped up. You have these conflicts where it's and with Taiwan, you might have like maybe for that like generation, then it might manage, but then going forward in generation, you might have electronics shoot up. Remember when I was back in the world, like I remember buying like a hard drive, computer hard drive, and then what was it? Buying a computer hard drive, and it was like a terabyte for like 50, 60 pounds, something like that. Then there was a flood in Thailand, and then like a year later, maybe not even a year, a matter of months later, I went to buy like another one. It was like 100, 110, 120. Like the price jumped up because of a shortage. And that was like a natural disaster. That's something that will come back online way quicker. Well, actually, it depends on the level of destruction. But, well, actually, no, because a war will probably it can be prolonged even longer. So for a war, that shit just can keep, running and circulating. If you got a war, just like Russia and Ukraine, that war's been popping off. If it's under that situation, say they were producing, chips over there, you won't really be able to have that shit cycle back online and flood back into the market. So you'd have those prices, stay up. That's the thing, is these things, when they hit, then it has a knock-on effect of, affecting, price of food. It's like, even with food production, like John Deere, like harvesting machines, that's a huge part of, like, especially for like the US and whatnot. If there's components that they require, could be tied to like Taiwan to get them at a certain price. If it then goes, they lose that supply market, it goes up. You're gonna have all these things impacted. People might have to switch to, different forms of technology, and might not be able to harvest as much, or they might have to. It might cost them way more to then harvest, to where then the price of everything goes up as well following it, and then that has impacts on other people as well. So these things are all linked and can easily, just like that. Hey, that distress of nations can come swiftly. That lack of resources can impact heavily, real quick. It can just like stack up and be like bang. It says, what men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah, men's hearts failing them for fear, because all the things that we going down, we catching people out there. That's the thing, is it's like, one conflict, one little war could have people, losing. We're like, damn, it's fucked. But then when you have these things cascading, building up, worsening and worsening, it's gonna get even more traumatic. So Revelation 7:1, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And yeah, those 4 winds are basically what? Holding back the destruction. And that's the thing, we're in a situation where it's been, for a minute, holding back that destruction. Because why? It's hit the point already where Esau could done be taken out of the way, the kingdom could be established. But then what? It's about prophecy. It's about prophecy being fulfilled. It was the same thing when Yahushua was on the sea. It's like, yo, I could call down, legions of angels to come and done out Rome. But then, all the things that Rome needs to fill wouldn't happen. You go into Acts chapter 5 when Gamaliel's telling them about how and why, be careful what you do is touching these men. Because if it's the Most High's purpose, then what you're doing is basically going to be ultimately working against you. But then, yeah, they're fulfilling the will of the Most High. They're holding back the destruction. It says, what? I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, and neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And yeah, seeing the servants of the Most High in their foreheads, that's basically what needs to be done. The elect need to be sealed. And then what? Fulfill the prophecies, man. The key ones are what? The MOTB, the implantable micro C-hip, and then World War III. And then the time of Jacob's trouble, man, where all hell breaks loose, where the whole earth's gonna be tried, man. These are the things that need to go down, and then that winds get loosed. We'll finish on this. 2 Timothy 3 and 13. The evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learnt and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And yeah, that's basically what we've been given the wisdom, we've been given the means to discern, and that's why it's like for us, where we're able to see and know what's gonna come. People out here are really thinking like, they're thinking about the Olympics, they're thinking about whether they're gonna be able to live peaceably, planning for retirement, wanting to see see their kids grow up, etc. There's certain aspects that they might see, but they don't know how this place is gonna end. They don't know that what the the kingdom's gonna come, and this place is living on borrowed time. You ain't gonna have no Star Trek. You ain't gonna have this place in 200, 300 years where it's like people are flying over all kinds of different what's it called, like galaxies and whatnot. This place has got a purpose to serve, man. And that's what these are things we learn, we know, we're short of. Rock for Yahweh Shem Yahshua Hashem Kakadash. Because why? Been given that knowledge, been given the wisdom and the means to discern, what this place is. And then, yeah, it'll be clear, which is like, this place is toast. We ain't, putting down roots. Because we know, like, as far as for us, we need to build up in the kingdoms to come. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.